No, not Reverend Sam, not even Reverend Cliffe. None are talking about this thing. Israel, the nation at war, in the center of the world, is doing some heavy damage to its enemies. But this nation began from a man named Deceiver, who later became Israel. Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. This is what God said. The name Jacob in Hebrew means a supplanter, a deceiver who takes someone else's place. So does this mean that God is partial? Did he choose a deceiver to become the nation of Israel? Did Israel originate from a deceiver? It all begins when Rebekah, the wife of Isaac, bore him twins, Esau the elder and Jacob the younger. When Rebekah was giving birth, Esau was the one who came out first, and Jacob came out second, grabbing the heel of his elder brother, as if trying to pull him back to come first. So because of this, as he tried to pull down his elder brother, therefore he was named Jacob, a deceiver, who was trying to take his brother's place even in the womb. Now it's written, Esau was a cunning or a sharp hunter, a man of the field, while Jacob was a plain man, meaning a peaceful, blameless man who mostly remained at home in tents. Then, as time went by, Jacob had prepared a salt pottage, meaning a curry made out of red kidney beans. And at that moment, Esau had just come from hunting, and he was very hungry, and he was very tired. So Esau requested Jacob for his dish. And Jacob, out of his selfish desire, who always wanted to become elder one, asked Esau to sell him his birthright. Notice, Jacob asked him to sell his birthright, to make a trade. He didn't do or say anything to deceive Esau. In fact, it was Esau who despised his birthright and considered it of no value. It was Esau who in his foolishness casually accepted and immediately sold his birthright to Jacob for something which is as small as a meal. Later we see that this Esau also went out and married two Hittite women who were a different people of the land of Canaan, and they were not of the tribe of Abraham their forefather. And because of this was displeasing to both Isaac and Rebekah. But probably Esau didn't care much about what his father or mother felt. But Jacob, on the other hand, cared about his parents. Jacob was literally commanded by his father to go to his relative Laban, his uncle, and there he was told to marry any one of his daughters. And later on we find that Jacob actually obeyed his father, and he immediately went and eventually got married to Leah, and later on to Rachel also. But there came a time in between when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, and he wanted to bless his elder son for inheritance. So he told Esau to go and to hunt and prepare him a savory mutton dish. At that time, Rebekah his wife heard Isaac speaking to Esau, so she immediately commanded Jacob to deceive his father and to receive the blessings of the eldest son. Now notice, immediately Jacob warned his mother. He said Isaac would perhaps touch him and know that it's not Esau, and he would eventually end up cursing Jacob, because Esau was a hairy man but Jacob had smooth skin. But still Rebekah, in her love towards her younger son, still commanded Jacob to obey her. And she said, "Upon me be thy curse." Rebekah not only planned, but she herself made the mutton dish. And it was she who gave it to Jacob. She herself brought and put Esau's cloth on Jacob. And she also put skins of goat on the hands and neck of Jacob to deceive Isaac, so that when Isaac would touch Jacob, he would think that it's Esau, as Esau had hairy skin. Now to obey his mother's command, Jacob lied to his father multiple times, because he said that he is Esau, and he also said that it was he who made the dish. However, he was not the person who made the dish, it was Rebekah who made the dish. But the biggest lie was when he brought God into this. He said that it was God who had sent the animal towards him, that is why he could hunt so fast, because of God. Although in truth, he didn't even go out to hunt. He just brought the goats from the flock he already had at home. And surely because of all this, Isaac got played, and he blessed Jacob thinking that he is Esau. So indeed, Jacob lied and deceived his father, obeying the command of his mother. But notice that although Jacob deceived, but he was not a deceiver. It was not his practice. It was not his nature to deceive. Otherwise, why would he plainly give an option to his brother Esau to sell his birthright? At that moment, Esau had full knowledge, but he himself chose to sell his birthright. Jacob didn't steal it from him, he sold it himself. And also, the moment Esau got to know what Jacob had done, he got very angry with him, and in his heart he decided to kill his own brother. He decided that he would kill Jacob. But on the other hand, we see that Jacob never desired to kill or to get his brother killed. He didn't even think about it, even when he got to know that Esau wanted to kill him. Still, even in his self-defense, he never wanted to get his brother killed. Clearly, it's true what the scripture says about Jacob, that he was a plain man, a simple, peaceful man. But he was selfish and also foolish sometimes to obey his mother rather than God. But who among us has never been selfish or foolish? Is there anybody? For all are selfish and foolish to some extent sometimes. And then if you observe carefully, contrary to Jacob, Esau was a violent, impulsive and careless man who sold his birthright or his inheritance for just a meal. Moreover, he didn't really care about the feelings of his father and mother, because he had married outside their relatives, which was displeasing to both his parents. And on top of this, Esau was also a murderer at heart, as he hated his brother and even wanted to kill him. But you never see Jacob expressing hatred towards his brother. Although Jacob could have despised Esau, because we know that Jacob always wanted to be the elder son. But still Jacob never despised nor he hated his brother. This is the reason why God chose Jacob over Esau. Because God sees the heart. He always foreknew what would Jacob and Esau do in the future. Therefore God didn't choose a deceiver, but he chose a weak, simple vessel like Jacob to become the nation of Israel. And the main reason why Israel is winning over all its enemies is not technology, it's not United States, and it's not even Mossad, but it's the God of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob who stands behind this small country of Israel. And if any country, people or person come against Israel, then they are not coming against them, but they are coming against the God of heaven and earth, who has pledged to defend them against all its enemies. God made a covenant with Israel, and He never breaks His covenant. Remember, although God is love, but God is also a judge, and He is a consuming fire who can also burn.